The winner bracket final, best of 5 series at the Murky Cup. We are in the playoffs, everybody, and Black's Holdout is our first map of the best of 5 series. So, the Exodia stack in red going up against the Dudes, and it should be a very interesting series. These are two teams that clashed several times, and I can't really tell you who's going to win there. The Exodia stack is always in that... I think the Exodia stack was from the beginning one of the big favorites. But the Dudes have improved over the qualifiers to an extent that was pretty bonkers and did exceptionally well. Also, they beat Exodia stack several times. So, can they do it again here? That's the big question. And then, of course, there's also a few more things that immediately come into play. First of all, we have, of course, a draft restriction, meaning that a hero that gets played cannot be played again in the same series. So, if we're ending up on map number 5, then 40 heroes, the 40 that were played on the previous 4 maps, cannot be played again. And that limits the options a bit for the teams. There's also still the bounty component that comes in here. Both of the teams have gotten a lot of bounties already, but there's still a few that they can complete. And if they feel at any point that there's a way for them to incorporate a bounty draft into their composition and win the game, they might do that. So, quick reminder, bounties, as can be seen on screen right now, are tools that you, or basically handicaps that you can give yourself, and if you complete a bounty, you get a ticket for the bounty pool. The prize pool in this tournament is split into $1,000 for the typical prize money for the best teams, and $1,000 that goes to the bounty pool. And the more bounties you complete, the bigger your share out of that bounty pool is going to be at the end of the tournament. Always dependent, of course, also on how many bounties were completed in total by other teams. So it's not only important that you complete bounties, you also want to shut them down on the other side. In that context, again, huge shout out to I Can't Wait, who's sponsoring this tournament. We've had over the past couple of years multiple people that sponsored events like this. Mr. X comes to mind, who sponsored the X Cup series. Kevin, of course, with all of the tournaments that he hosted. The events that we had Miami, the Nations Cup, and now in this one, I Can't Wait, who's really helping out to ensure that the Heroes of the Storm competitive scene, the esports scene here, can still thrive and have tournaments even 6 years after Blizzard axed HGC and essentially withdrew from the game completely. So huge shout out here and a big thank you. Without this wouldn't be possible. So right now we got as picks Urel, Murden and Genji on the side of the red team. And then over on the left side, Malfurion and Rexa. So Rexa as a pick is always kind of fun. Normally the two maps where you see him the most is Dragonshire and Brax's Holdout. Depending on the team and the player, you can see Rexa also occasionally on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, for example. But yeah, pretty good stuff here. Good opening, very stable, nobody is picking anything too crazy yet. With Braxis being the starting map, it could definitely be that the teams, you know, just come in and say like, you know what? We're just going to, right now, play a normal game on map number 1. If we get ahead, then we're a bit more confident to pick a bounty. But before that, it's just more about the win. And don't forget, there is a lower bracket. So the team that loses is not out of the tournament. But at the same time, if you win here, you're already in the grand final. So might be worth it to focus a little bit more on winning the series and focusing on bounties. And we've already seen that calculation being made in previous matches now in the playoffs. But I have to say, more bounties than I personally expected in the playoffs. 100%. I was a bit surprised by that. And now we'll see if, at least in the first map, the Exodia stack is willing to commit to a bounty, or they're just looking for the victory. And it's a tough opponent. It's not an easy opponent here. Lucio and Tychus, so no bounty for them. They're going for a normal comp. And our final pick for Nano. What are the Dudes going to do? Still need a bit more damage. I mean, Rex at the top lane is already given. I want to see Zarya. Give me Zarya Garrosh. Then together with Vala, it would be kind of fun. Not sure if we're really going to get that. Nano, of course, plays tons of mages. And a mage for added clear at the bot lane would also be nice for them. But yeah, so our first map, Brax's Holdout, best of 5. The winner bracket final, and we get the double support for Vala. Oriel gets chosen. And with that, we're heading into game number 1 of the winner bracket final. First game, the Dudes in blue on the left with Gavlo. On Garrosh, we get Bloodcool on Rexa. Ultralisk on Vala, auto attack. That's basically a given, considering that he has 2 supports behind him. So now we got Nano on Oriel and Banana H and Malfurion. So very typical composition for Vala hyper carry with auto attack style for the blue team. Exodia stack on the right with Hazu Ops on Tychus. We get Copenhagen on Urel, Dainu on Genji, Yasuo is playing Lucio, and Bad Benny on Muradin. So, who's going to take the lead? Is the Vala composition going to be successful, or are we seeing another victory for the Exodia stack here? Well, that's the big one. Let's try and figure that out. Obviously, when you have Garrosh, he can set up a lot of kills, a lot of cool plays for the team. Personally, just for the fun, I would have loved to see Zarya here. Her level 4 just synergizes so well with Garrosh, but the double support of Vala makes obviously tons of sense, and it will allow a lot of stacking here. And they're already starting. I mean, skirmishes like this one are fantastic for Vala. She's stacking out of her mind. They're even getting a kill. Benny goes down. That's Muradin eliminated. So they get a kill. They get stacks for Vala. And it really doesn't get much better than that if you're starting with the Vala composition. You got your Brawl at the beginning where Vala is able to get stacks for her level 1 and boost her damage a bit, or at least set herself up for exactly that goal. And then you're also picking up a kill and gain a bit of momentum. So yeah, things are looking pretty alright. It was only the first little battle in the game, so there's of course a lot more to come, but at least for now things are alright. The red team is actually playing fairly aggressive here. They didn't go for a camp themselves after the mercenary spawn. Instead, they're trying to invade. Yasuo's in trouble, though. He's in real trouble here. And somehow makes it out. Did Rexa... Is Rexa drunk? Did he start drinking? Am I crazy, or did he just let him pass? Did that just happen? Dino's jumping out at the bottom. Now we have a double control also for the red team. So not only did they go and drive past them, but they also were able to get themselves a lead on the beacons. At the top, this is being contested now. Nice route from Malfurion. And the whip follow-up. Nice on Urel. Look at that. Yep. I mean, my theory always was if you are a fantastic Oriel player, there's only two explanations. If you're that good with a whip, either you are a hobby archaeologist with a hat, or you have a private sex dungeon. You have way too much experience with whips if you're just hitting them non-stop like this. And the way that Nano just absolute with pinpoint accuracy slapped them into a wall makes me already a little bit suspicious. So yeah, whipping them into shape as we speak. But again, maybe he just has a head. What do I know? I don't think I've ever seen a picture. So, Indomitable on level 4. We're also getting the Death Dealer. We got the Repeated Offense. Which is definitely also a talent name, isn't it now? Oh yeah. Punish me, baby. 2 kills to 0. Oriel again, just looking for the next connect here. The red team is on 44% now on progress and is actually locking a lot in. Whereas on the left side, we have 62 for the blue team, so both of them are really, really fighting for the first one. Arrow actually missing against Genji here. The wall already opened up, down at the bottom. Yeah, Urel finds herself now on that awkward spot where she has to make a choice of what exactly she wants to fight for. Either the beacon control or the bot lane defense. But Misha gets destroyed! Wah! Unbearable position in the bot lane for Rexa now. It was not impossible to save Misha in that situation, but he just, I mean, I can't really, I barely saw it. I mean, we barely caught it there. And it was a bit unbearable for me personally, but apparently Rexa's okay with it. So now Misha's rushing out as Genji is coming in and trying to help out too. So they're starting to tag team Misha, which they definitely should. Another whip, another connect, and Nano! Yeah, so not sure what to tell him here, but so 2 kills to 0. The dudes so far with the head. Vala also 58 stacks, so the first quest reward is in. Master Assassin for Tychus on level 4. Once the passive auto attack speed gain. And another stun into the wall with a root follow up. They're definitely chaining that CC. Beautiful. What is Benny doing? Benny commits honorable Sudoku here. I mean, honestly, there is no other explanation for this, right? He's sitting there, he's still kind of fine, and then he just says like, forward! And jumps in, sits down on the ground, starts solving a couple of math puzzles. And that's that. So, yeah, Benny is gone. Not sure what the thought process there was. But either way, it didn't work out. Now they're losing the fort at the top lane. But I can only assume that he kind of fat-fingered or something. I mean, either way, 3 kills to 0. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, we have the next attacker. By the way, it's kind of funny to me, because every single time I bring the Sudoku line in, I now have to put in a qualifier. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this already, but I used to say I was talking about the honorable Sudoku. And I felt like every time I did that, at the latest when the video was uploaded to YouTube, there was at least one guy that was like, you don't mean Sudoku, it's seppuku. It's seppuku. Sudoku is a math puzzle. So now all the time I have to put the silly qualifier in with the second sentence where I'm just like, yeah, you're sitting down solving a math puzzle and then gets killed. And it's actually kind of disgusting. I think I'm going to take that back out. If people don't understand that it's a joke, that's on them. So yeah, if that goes over your head, then I can't really help it. But yeah, it's actually, I'm accounting for the stupidity of people in my own commentary already, and it's actually sad. So yeah, we're going to stop that right now. So 3 kills to 0. The dudes with the lead. And both of them are really fighting for that beacon. I love that. This is actually one of the tightest and closest beacons, first beacons that I've seen on this map in a long, long time. So really, really cool start into the best of 5 series here from the two of them. So, yeah. Genji. Oh! It would have been so cool if they somehow interrupted him. Trying to, you know, sneak in the escape here just in front of your opponent's face, and then all of a sudden you get caught out. That would have been pretty funny. But we have the 100% Zerg wave for the blue team, so they have a bit more of a powerful wave at the bottom, but the difference between the two is very, very small. Misha, Rexa are defending at the top, and down here the aggression is coming for the fort. But I feel like the result is going to be the same. 2 forts are gone for the Exodia stack, and that's big. That's actually pretty big. If on this map you're losing both of your forts and the fountains, it makes it much, much harder for you to fight these sustained battles around the next objective, around the beacons. So that's problematic. Vala has also not died yet. In fact, we haven't seen a single kill for the red team. So Exodia stack still waiting for their first blood. And to make matters even a bit worse for them, there's level 10 now on the other side. So Aegis, that's already one panic button that can be used whenever Vala finds herself in trouble. At the top, they can still help with defense a bit, but there's also the camps that are going to be respawned. Half a level, probably not enough to get the boss. I'm sure they would love to. Ultral is double-checking both of the vents here, ensuring that Genji is not trying to hearth, but yeah, Dainu was not trying to be sneaky, he just moved away from it. And down at the bottom, look at this. It's actually really smart. What they're essentially doing is they're stopping these so that the bosses don't spawn. With them delaying this and waiting for their own level 10, there is no chance for the blue team to even go for the boss. Even if the blue team decides to not take the boss, them setting up a potential trap here could work. So this is a really smart play done now by the Exodia stack. Just delay this a little bit, make sure that the wave doesn't fall, and once that you have your own level 10, then you can take the Guardians down. Then we're gonna see the camps respawn. And then if there is an attempt to go for boss, you can contest it because you have the same talent here. So that was a very, very smart little play that they made. If they would have destroyed those Guardians right away, the blue team would have had a chance to go for the boss or for any other camp on the map. And this way they just ensure that this is not an option. So yeah, nicely done. 3 kills to 0. Still, nothing has changed on that front. We have Dragon Blade for Genji, and we get the sound barrier. So Lucio is going for the bubble. Still, it's not even level lead. It's a little bit less than that even. It's a very even game still. Those 2 forts that they lost those, that's the big deal though. That's the big problem. And this is what needs to be exploited now by the blue team as much as they can. Just poke the opponent down a little bit, force them to retreat when you can. Beacons are obviously not active yet, so it doesn't play a big role as we speak. Definitely something to pay some attention to. But right now, yeah, next attack already. Dino is also coming in, completes his quest, gets stunned out by Misha. Yeah, Misha with a stunning performance here! I apologize. No, I actually don't. I've been here for a long time. Nope. That's just what you gotta endure. It is what it is. Half a level until 12. So they're trailing by half. Ooh, even Odin is now getting thrown out there to defend. Okay, quick attack as Garrosh throws them out. Lucio is moving in. They're chasing with Lucio. Rexa unleashes his own ult to slow them down a bit on the chase. Malfurion already popping Tranquility, and Garrosh still dies. Garrosh is gone. That's the first kill The very first kill in this game for the Exodia stack, just as the objective is ready. So now it's time to try and turn the game around a bit. But at this point, the boss gets taken, or at least they are trying to take it. That's a very small window that they have here. They feel that they can do this. 5 versus 4, and I guess they can. Nice call. Very nice call. Mega quick claim on the boss. And they snuck that in based off a single kill without hesitation. They made their move, they took the boss, and just said, okay, we got this. There's little that we can do around the objective that would give us that better of a lead. But if we're just now moving in and do that, then we walk away with some pressure at the bottom of the map. Can at least open those walls up. And yeah, quite nice. Not bad at all. So kudos to the shot caller here. That was well played. First of all, it removes the boss as a tool for the opponent, but also now you have an easier time going for the objective, at least potentially. Now, it's still an early boss, it's not really a late game or anything. So it's quickly defeated as they're committing with 4 heroes to that defense. Top side though, that fort all left alone. Is now not defended at all, and this one hurts. So yep, they're losing a lot of hit points on it. A lot of hit points lost on this, and while the fort is not gone, any other move onto it will drop it finally. Nice root on the ground here too. Malfurion gets attacked. Odin is active again. And another quick save. As Malf is still alive. But can they get the kill here? It seems like they just might. And Auriel is the one to fall. Auriel goes down. Vala still alive. She murders Muradin actually. And so far, Dino hasn't died. Sorry, Ultralis hasn't died yet. So really nice for him. Lots of stacks now too, and if he can maintain that until 16, that attack speed advantage together with Manticore is going to shred Benny to pieces in essentially every fight. So time is really working, at least to a little extent, in favor of the blue team. Them losing Auriel here, of course, not too great, but at least they got the counter kill against Muradin, so that was worth a lot. And nobody has gotten a lot of progress or anything. They figure out where Dino is. I'm not yeah, okay, he has the cooldown on the Sword Strike ready and is able to escape. But for just a moment, that was a bit scary too. Now, both teams on level 14. It's such a close game. And it's only the opening map between the two of them. The damage output, we are looking at 32,000 damage for Tigers, 32,000 for Vala. So even here, they're absolutely tied. It's the top lane that seems to be the battleground again for the two teams as they're fighting for beacon control. Muradin is already jumping in for another quick and dirty Stormbolt. And here's control and a bit of progress before Urel locks in the beacon at the bottom of the map for the dudes. They are mega strong here. Dino poking continuously, gets whipped into the wall, and that actually completes the repeated offense from Auriel too. Still tiny inexperience here for them. And Vala is looking over and over for more connects, for more auto attack hits, so that she can boost her auto attack damage even further. Only 8 away from reaching the next goal here. Nice little sneaky move by Genji. Dino is a pain in the ass right now. I mean, he really is. Always moving in here and trying to sneak that beacon back, which he might try and do now too. But Urel is at the bottom. They know that Dino is on the left, so that leaves only 3 defenders at the top. And they're using that to their advantage. That's actually not a bad strategy here. Urel is only fighting for Fort at the bottom of the map. They are already approaching the keep. So they are forcing Urel now to move towards the top. Bit of extra experience, of course, through that bot lane positioning of Urel earlier. So now the red team has taken over in XP and will hit level 16 a bit sooner. But it's still basically dead even. But yeah, the keep has actually taken some damage. Not a ton, but this is still quite nice. Now the advantages is still the same. The top side fort has now been destroyed, but at least at the bottom, they still have a fountain that they can play around. It will lock in a few seconds, but not too much. Benny is already taking back control up at the top, but this allows now both of the teams to go for the level 16, and with that we're going to see Vala unleash her nearly full potential. 20 is of course going to make her even safer, but at least on the damage numbers, this is going to be a big boost for her now. Manticore is in, and this is going to be nice. Muradin needs to be very careful. Genji again, Dino. Such a nuisance. Look at him, that little fucker. Annoying as hell over here, but really cool moves that gives them 42% against 20. So I like what they're doing. They're not only focusing on team fights, but it's these little nibble plays that we're seeing from him. And now Misha has to be left down here to ensure that they're not losing ground again. But they're going for the boss. So now they're saying, well, we might at least go for that. Genji takes control and Dino's gonna fight. Oh, that could be really bad for the dudes. They might have overstepped massively. If they lose that fight, they're going to lose the objective from the looks of it. But if they're losing the fight too, they're losing everything here. And Malfurion goes down. Muradin melted away by Vala, but she dies too. The boss gets stolen. And this is an utter disaster and nightmare now for the dudes. They're losing everything. They're losing absolutely everything. It's going to be a 5-man team wipe. They're getting absolutely rolled here. This is every single hero destroyed, the objective lost, and a boss traveled through the bot lane. Utter disaster. Absolute disaster here. Malfurion the first one to fall. It looked good for a second when Muradin died, but after Vala got eliminated, that was just it. So Dino with fantastic plays on Genji, just really pressuring them time and time again. They go for a boss and think that they can take the fight, maybe even sneak it before the opponent realizes what's going on. And boy, did they learn elsewise. They got completely surprised there. It's boss and Zerg wave on the same lane, and they're losing everything. 8 kills to 5, and this is likely going to be the end. The two teams were so insanely close throughout all of it here. But now things are totally swapping. I mean, damn. Great move by the Exodia stack. A fantastic play to get in, not only back into the game, to take the lead here in the first place, and then to take the victory. So the lead in the best of 5 here at the winners final goes to the Exodia stack. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
So, Towers of Doom, map number 2. Map choice by the Exodia stack. The blue team decided they want to have first pick, first ban. That last game, that exploded very quickly. Great play from Dino on Genji. Him threatening the beacon time and time again played a massive role in them winning the game, and then obviously everything came together towards the end. The objective was claimed, they lose their entire team, and the boss gets taken as well. There was nothing they could do to defend this any longer. Now we're heading into Towers of Doom, and this might be one of the cases where the Exodia stack is still thinking about getting some bounties together. Now they already completed in the previous series the Lily and Chen bounty, for example. There's not that many bounties left for them anymore. And I'm not sure how willing they really are against an opponent that is definitely pushing them to the limit to actually go for bounties in the first place. So that's a bit of a question mark still. But since they are in the lead, this is where you would be a bit more comfortable trying to do that. But let's not forget that there's not only prize money in the bounty pool. You have also the real prize money. So the deeper you go in the bracket now here in the playoffs, the more important it becomes for you to actually win the tournament itself. And that is something where I believe the focus will soon be. Do you really risk losing a game just because you think maybe there's a 5% chance that you're going to win with Meme Blades variant? I am not so sure, because the dudes in particular can always make a bit of a comeback. But again, we'll see. Maybe they're willing to do that. Dehaka as a first pick, so that's the first choice that we already got here. For a bit more global action and tunneling down to the bottom of the map in most cases to try and be a bit aggressive there. With Tracer on Dino and then Johanna, we already have Dino on another hero that is just insanely annoying. Talking about annoying, even the fruit fly is now coming in again. Bah! Bright wing. Friend! So, yeah, it's slapped around a little bit. I need a fly swatter emote or something. We need an animation for that. Just every single time that Brightwing gets picked, you have like a fly swatter, like 3D effect, like whoosh, just hitting the screen. Sergeant Hammer gets banned out now. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Tracer doesn't like Sergeant Hammer either. Tracer's just sitting there like, yep, let me dodge stuff, get rid of those auto attacks, and we're good. And the final ban on Junkrat. Alright. Let's bring this together a little bit. What are we getting for the side lane? Now, again, 10 heroes that were played on the previous map cannot be played again. Doesn't play a big role just yet, as you can obviously see here. But I want to know what the choices are, right? Hanzo, Uther. The kind of funny thing is, if heroes now get picked in these games that you don't like too much, the good news is always that in the next map, you're not going to see them anymore. So this is going to be the only time that they are appearing in a series. I like the concept actually a lot. Medivh, nice! Ultralisk is busting out his Medivh plays and has Diablo, so Leyline into Apocalypse is possible. And then you have Nano and Cassia, but yeah, Medivh can be tons of fun here. That leaves us with Copenhagen as a side laner, and I'm not so sure if they really want to go for a bounty here. I don't know if they completed the Gazlo bounty, for example, but they go Murky again. They failed with their Murky bounty, I believe, 2 times already, and they're still trying to lock Murky in. Murky gives you 3 tickets for the bounty pool, so I'm not really blaming them here, but this is still going to be tough. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2 in the best of 5 series between the Exodia stack and the dudes. Once again, the Murky bounty for the Exodia stack. I believe this is now their 3rd attempt at winning with Murky. They want those 3 tickets for the bounty pool, but of course in every single series they can only try it once, because after that you can't play the hero again in the same series. Now on the left, the blue team down 1 game in that best of 5 series. We have Bloodcool on Dehaka, Nano on Cassia, Gavlo is playing Diablo, Ultralisk of course on Medivh, and we have Banana H on Brightwing. As on the right side of the map, the red team spawns the Exodia stack with Hazorps on Hanzo. We get Dino and Tracer, Copenhagen with Murky, Bad Benny with Johanna, and Yasuo with Uther. So, okay, that wasn't Murky. My Murky impression is generally horrible. One person that I know that has a very sick Murky impression is actually Trixler. It's surprisingly difficult. You can try it yourself. I mean, if you're alone in the room right now, then just try it. Just try and go for a Murky impression. Try it right now. It's a little bit more difficult when you have anybody else in the apartment, in the house, in the room, whatever it is, because they might think that you're crazy. But if you're all alone right now, I would heavily recommend that you're trying your own Murky impression for just a second. You're gonna realize that this is actually not that easy. But can they win with it? Can they actually win with Murky? That is the big question right now. And I'm not sure. They have been trying to lock it in several times. It didn't work. Now they're going up against quite a tough opponent. And Murky might fall once again. We have, by the way, Brightwing adapting a little bit with the Pixie Charm as the level 1 talent here. So just noteworthy after that last patch, but also adapting to the fishy deal. So both of them are currently trying to bribe people. It doesn't really surprise me that Brightwing can actually bribe things. I mean, again, we're talking about the hero that has invisible friends on level 20. Nobody likes Brightwing. You're all fully aware of that. So that the Fruit Fly is every now and then tempted to just pay some friends to act like they're actually, you know, friendly doesn't shock me in the slightest. This is exactly the kind of creature that I personally perceive Brightwing to be, the one that has to pay someone to be their friend. So, typical talent for Brightwing. Absolutely no shock here, at least from my end. Makes sense to me. No kills so far. Couple of stacks already for Medivh. We're going to keep an eye on him. Of course, we now have on level 4 also Slime Time, so that's another one to watch out for. And see how much and how quickly he is going to be able to complete that. Okay. And, well, Murky on the way to the top to deal with Dehaka, as it seems. Try and bribe that as they're going for Diablo down here. But Murky against Dehaka right now. I don't really think this is going to be a battle that Murky is going to win in the long run, but maybe some reinforcements are going to come in. Bloodcool, there's the tongue! And the fish is gone. So is Jojo, by the way. But we caught the important kill at least on camera. So that's something. But, yep, Murky down, and Jojo down. So great start for the blue team. I'm not sure. Again, I think they have very bad experience so far with their Murky attempts. Maybe this is going to be the game that turns it all around and they're finally able to get the Murky bounty that they've still been missing. Ultralisk now on the channel at the bottom, so it seems the blue team is going to grab 2 out of the 3. Don't think they can be stopped here. But, yeah. Yeah, the Exodia stack. Great first game. Very close game. Up to the point where the entire match then flipped. But yeah, now we have Jojo still sitting in the middle, starting to do her work. Same time, the Haka at the top. Yeah, he was in a spot where he also has to deal, of course, with Tracer as she's moving between the lanes and trying to assist Murky a little bit. So that side lane, which was initially a straight up 1v1, is now turning more often than not into a bit of a gank attempt by the Exodia stack. And Dino has already shown how aggressive he can be with the mobile damage dealer on Brax's holdout, which was honestly just fantastic play by him. I gotta highlight that once more. That's big, by the way. Look at this. He completed Subdue. Subdue completed for that extra slow, and that is massive. That's essentially a stun that he has now. So this is insane. This is great for the Exodia stack. This is definitely going to make a lot of the team fights easier for them. If that's going to be enough, that's a different story, but that's a fantastic talent to complete. And it doesn't happen all that often. Great tongue connect with Usa. And then even the poly, that was so perfectly synced. They get the kill against Uther. Dino's trying to rush away here. Uther with a couple of heals, but down at the bottom of the map now, Hanzo has fallen as well. So, not bad. That's actually a really cool development for the blue team. Initially, I was a bit like, well, Jojo completed her level 4. That's already a problem. But now, when you just look at how many kills they just got, that's 3 kills to 0 in general. The wall at the bottom gets opened up. It's not only the kills, it's also the stacks for Medivh that we, for example, have. Now the double altar at the top, the two teams can fight for again. But yeah, not bad. Jojo gets attacked and is able to walk away from this. Okay, so at least she doesn't go down here. Murky is channeling the second altar at the top. Copenhagen just moving between. And level 10 is also now coming in a bit closer. March of the Murlocs once again. They don't really have anything where I say, yeah, go Octograb here and try and take him out. Octograb is more fun when you have burst damage. When you have a mage that can really burst things up, then of course you get mad value. But if they feel that with March of the Murlocs, as they did in the previous series where they played Murky, they have the upper hand, I would certainly not mind it. I think the palette is just mega funny when it gets played properly. So there's Apocalypse after a ley line. Tracer, yeah, now Blood Cool is in trouble. Brightwing might be able to help out. Oh, and actually Medivh is here too. Okay, fair enough. They're taking the camp. Not really in danger. They already sent heroes to the top just on the off chance that that would happen. We get Octograb though. So unfortunately, no March of the Murlocs. This time they decide that it's time for Octograb. Let's see if they can maybe catch Medivh before he completes his quest. Diablo is diving onto Bad Benny at the bottom of the map again, so the tags are at each other's throat. But while Cassia is damaging the bottom bell tower, we still have the ley line YOLO'd out at the top. And Cassia is poking this down slowly, and Benny doesn't really have it here. As long as there's a minion wave, there is no problem for Cassia to get additional damage in. Benny has to tap the fountain in order to deal with this. As top side, we see more portals coming out. And empowering not only the aggression but also some retreats as the team is forced into fights that they're not really to their liking. And it's a bit similar to what we had on the first map. It's again the blue team that gets the initial kills and the opponent doesn't. So yeah, now they're in that awkward situation where it's just like, well, can we get that first kill? Can we turn the game again? Or is the blue team this time a bit more successful trying to maintain the momentum that they established for themselves? Whoa, the arrow dodged by Diablo. That would have been a kill. Gavlo with good control. Very nice awareness and the reflexes to dodge the arrow quickly. We're talking about dodging things. Can't dodge that portal. That divine shield. Ah, sweet. Can they still get him? No. That was a great play from Yasuo. Very, very good play from Yasuo. Able to save him. That was big. Ultralisk with a channel. That's actually not finished that. They apparently want to have that bell tower first. And they're going to get it thanks to the pumpkins that they just got themselves. So, yep, they're going to control the bell tower in just a moment. And then that's when we are getting the channel. So it's going to be 5 shots fired instead of the 4. And that puts the red team's score now down to 23 points. Octograb, Gavlo. Yeah, that's too much for him to handle, isn't it? Gets the Apocalypse out. Gavlo with some pretty nice plays regardless, but he dies. So they are going for Benny for a potential counter kill. And Benny! They kill Hanzo first. Benny survives for a moment as Nano starts to dart in, but they're just keeping control, they're keeping close, and that's a double kill for them now. 30 stacks for Medivh. So, yep, he's not looking too bad on the stack count either. They also maintain control over the bell tower at the bottom of the map. So still a 5 versus 3 situation that they had going on a bit earlier. Murky has now gone for the fish tank on level 13. Oh, the attack at the top is still coming. 24,000 damage from Hanzo. Tracer is essentially on the same numbers right now. Also 24k for her. Cassia on 23,000. We have Medivh on 15. Again, reminder, he hasn't completed his baseline quest yet, so he can still lose the stacks if he dies. But now the idea, I mean, the main goal for the red team is of course to try and retake the control of the bell tower bottom. But thanks to these portals, they can very quickly rotate between the lanes and also dive behind the red team in an attempt to take them out here. So huge aggression as usual from the dudes, and they are in a fantastic spot. Also the spawn position of the next two bell towers isn't too bad either, or the next two altars. So they have one for sure about to be locked in at the bottom. Very difficult to access now for the red team. So the Exodia stack in a bit of a difficult spot, because both channels would move them down to 13 points on the core. That's not really a whole lot. They're losing both of the altars. Shots are fired. Bam. And that's 32 points against 13. The fight at the top is also breaking out. Murky still active there, yes. Gets killed though after the bubble's over. And the rest of the team is just running around on the map. I don't want to say like headless chickens, but there's very little for them to do now. They are trying to retake the bell tower at the bottom, but every single time they move there, the resistance is immediate. So they're hoping to apply pressure at the top, maybe get some bell tower control from themselves. And up to now, it hasn't really been working. So they're really struggling to get to any point here. Now they have to deal with pumpkins as well, which is of course another problem. You don't want to lose even more points on your core. So that's the next issue that they are facing. It's tough. They are in a very difficult spot. The 16 talent doesn't do them any favors there either. If Medivh now also completes with another 7 stacks his baseline, that would be another blow against the team. So they're heavily on the back foot. This is a map that's scaled, but scaling is everything. Late game is hugely important here. But they're running out of room. They're running out of points on their core, and they are struggling to get their control back at the bottom of the map. They still get some. I mean, they are getting that bell tower close, but if they can get the entire thing, that's a different question. Now it's a triple altar phase. Like, technically the game can even end here. So some pumpkins made it through. 12 points on the core now. Arrow misses. That's not a good start into the fight. Tehaka and Murky are still up on the map, but the 4 versus 4 at the bottom. At least they have level 60 now. So they catch up in talents. But is that going to be enough for them? Bottom altar should easily be channeled here. So that would be 5 shots already fired. And they're very close to this. Fight in the middle. Already breaking out once again. Yeah, 6 kills to 1. First channel has happened. That puts them down into the single digits. This is, I mean, again, they're really in trouble now. If they lose a team fight, then it's altar plus boss. Hanzo is at least getting the one on the right side. But Divine Shield had to be used already. That's another problem. Here comes Diablo with the APOC combo. And bye-bye Uther. Tracer is barely getting out of the fight. The ley line stopped Johanna. Uther's ghost can still do some, but here comes the portal. That's a kill. This should be game. They can go for the boss. They can go for the channel on the remaining altar. And this is going to seal the deal here. It's the Murky bounty is honestly the bane of their existence. It's their kryptonite. They just can't complete it. This is the 3rd time that they're trying. Here's the shots. That's 2 points on the core. They're going for the boss as they should. And yes, Murky is losing again. The Exodia stack is not able to complete the bounty. They lose on Towers of Doom. And it's a victory on the 2nd map for the dudes. 10 kills to 1. And a convincing victory as the blue team ties up the series. GG. Well, Garden of Terror is our 3rd map, and we have a tie in the series. 20 heroes have been played and cannot be played again, and one of them is Murky, still the kryptonite of the Exodia stack, who now try to complete the bounty several times and just don't seem to be capable of winning with Murky. It's actually kind of funny also that it's Garden of Terror now, because for whatever reason the discussion on Twitch turned to whether I like vegetables and what my favorite vegetables are, and now we're going to the garden in the Nexus. So, yeah. It's actually kind of fascinating also with vegetables. I already said there, I don't really buy fresh vegetables for myself because I'm just too lazy to make all of them, so it's mostly frozen. But generally I don't have a problem with vegetables per se. The one thing that I really like though, which a lot of people seem to hate, and I don't understand why, is Brussels sprouts. I actually like Brussels sprouts. So if you have an air fryer, for example, if you just put a bit of a spicy sauce together and just put the Brussels sprouts in that and then make them in the air fryer, that tastes really good. It's a really nice snack, and I don't know why people hate it so much. So yeah, vegetables, definitely a big thumbs up from me. Just the effort that with a lot of vegetables, not with all of them, is involved is a bit of an eh. That's why usually fruits are more so on the agenda for me personally. And then of course debate broke out about tomatoes, who are technically a fruit. But who in their right mind would make a fruit salad and throw a tomato in there, right? Totally crazy, so not a thing. But yeah, the hate of Brussels sprouts, never got that. Never really understood it. Holger as a first pick. Sylvana's Junkrat band on Garden. We haven't seen Falstead yet, so you still have some globals. You have Abathar, Samuro, Illidan with Hunt, Falstead, ETC Stage Dive. Vikings can technically also still be played. So definitely a couple of really neat options that are still available for the two teams here. So yeah, and there's the birdie. So I just talked about Falstead, and here we have him. The early pick into Varian is also interesting to me. Again, it's so difficult to judge if at any point they are going to be the team to throw out the meme blades. Now, there's multiple reasons why I don't think they're going to do it. A, when the playoffs. B, they're going up against a tough opponent. C, meme blades is just insanely difficult to win with in a competitive environment. And seeing Varian even this early on usually just means that Benny wants to have a hero that he feels very comfortable with. So could they do it? Yes, but it's a 1-1. They're not ahead. If it would be a 2-0 right now, I would say like, hey, YOLO it out, try it, give it a shot. But given the circumstances that they're currently in, I just don't see them attempting that. I just don't believe that they're going to do it. But, alright, I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, they would have to pick a few more melees if that was really the plan here. But I just think they're going to go for a sniper comp as so often as you usually see. Now, you can still play also Anduin, for example, against that. Anduin with Varian is decent. Anduin against Varian is also kind of nice because the cooldown trait, still they can still save targets, so there's that. But what exactly are the dudes afraid of, for example? What would they like to ban out here? Yeah, could ban also a side laner, try and get rid of some of them. Blaze has already been banned. They are getting rid of Anduin, okay. So they agreed and they're like, yeah, well, Anduin, the crybaby, let's get rid of him. Stukov should still be up though. So you could actually go for just like typical Varian Stukov if you are really speccing into Taunt, if that's the plan here. Which, at least for now, we're still assuming. So I would think that's what's happening here. Chromie from Nano. They want to have a tank with decent CC now. Yeah, there's Stukov and there's Liming. I mean, at this point it really becomes a straight up typical sniper composition. Taunt, Lurking Arm, Liming damage. Falstad can obviously also chip in. We should have put a bounty on Hinterland Blast. I think Hinterland Blast, Shock and Awe as a bounty would have also been pretty amusing, pretty interesting here. But yeah. Chen, okay. And Imperius, look at that. Chen, Imperius, and Hogger. So we get a triple front line, I like it. That was a good one. Malthael as the final choice. I mean, 20 heroes are unavailable, and they're going already a bit deep on the draft. Garden of Terror, map number 3. We're in the best of 5 series, ladies and gentlemen. This is the winner bracket final. So let's see which team takes the lead between the Exodia stack and the dudes. Alright, on the left, in game number 3, we have Chen Played by Gavlo, triple frontline with Ultralisk on Imperius and then Blood Cool on Hogger. So I kind of like that. You're going for 3 bruisers here, 3 side laners, especially Imperius, of course, can be played as a main tank as well and has been in the past a lot. Chromie gets played by Nano, and we get Banana Age on Rhaegar. On the right side of the map, it is the Exodia stack after their loss with Murky on Towers of Doom. Now here on Garden of Terror, we have Hazorps on Falstead, Dainu on Liming. Copenhagen is playing Malthael, we get Bad Benny on Varian, and Yazu is playing Stukov, going into the low blow as his level 1 choice. And with that, it's time to rock and roll. Let's get ready to rumble. So, who's going for those juicy seeds and for those web beavers, aka Garden Terrors? Yeah. Well, fine. Once they're on level 10, they could actually go real ham with that line. Oh, they're already doing it. Look at that. Yeah, there's the stuns, there's the slows, and Chromie just says thank you and gets the kill here. So perfect. That's exactly how you need to do it. They're able to walk in, get the kill, but if you play with such a bruiser-heavy lineup, you can be aggressive, and that is what they're doing. You want to really commit to those fights, obviously. It makes it a bit difficult for you to poke from the outside, but that was well executed, well played, and they get first blood in the game with an easy kill, as everybody is now starting to focus more on mercenary camps. We have Falstead doing the same thing too, currently sitting over at the top right, going for the first set of Siege Giants here. But a good start from the dudes. This is not a team that you should underestimate. They've already proven it too many times. Copenhagen gets also just taken. Wrong move by him, and now even Benny for a moment looked like he might be in trouble here. But he at least was still able to save himself without any big issues. So that's the second kill now for the dudes. And I gotta give it to them. They are playing great. They're being very aggressive. They are not shying away from early game fights. When they see opportunities, they're trying to go for them immediately. And just look at Yasu here. He nearly gets destroyed by Chromie. Has to move back out and tap the fountain quickly, which he did. But these are exactly the plays that could set the blue team even farther ahead than they already are. So nice from them to just see that constant aggression here. 2 kills to 0. Rotation to the top now, so they're trying to stabilize a little bit. The early game is still a bit shaky when you're just looking at things develop here, but they are able to at least go for a few camps themselves. It's not too big of a deal just yet, but of course not the way that you want to start the game anyways. The vigorous reuptake, we got throwing shade. We can definitely start throwing a little bit of shade over here. Also, a little bit more poke happening as Benny is taking a couple of hits here. Nano and Chromie is just a monster. If you ever ask yourself why exactly is Chromie getting banned, just have a look at who is playing on the other side. And if Nano is one of the players, there's a very good chance that that's the reason why Chromie got banned out. So of course there's also a lot of meta situations where Chromie is just very, very good. But this is one of his favorites, and he is an absolute monster on that hero and is a regular ban. Absolute regular ban against Nano that Chromie gets eliminated. In this case, they finally were able to lock her in for him. So he gets supported by 3 melees at the front that will create a lot of space and also time for Chromie to make her plays there. Yeah, at the bottom of the map right now, pretty much all alone. One of the biggest Chromie moments that still sticks out to me is one where she got absolutely shut down, and that was during the HTC days, when Reese in a series against Chromie picked Muradin and just did nothing else but waited for Chromie, waited at the sides in the wings, mostly out of vision, every time for Chromie to just wind up her animation. And the second that her animation started, what he would do with Skullcracker as 7, he would just jump in immediately on Chromie and apply pressure. And this worked so exceptionally well, it blew me away completely. So that will be something that I'm never going to forget. It was absolutely incredible. Here, on the other hand, well, Chromie dies too. So another instance where she's not quite all that lucky. Chromie is down. And that's the first kill also for the red team. So Chromie goes down there. Top side, Chen still playing against good old Malthael. And once that level 10 abilities are in, Malthael of course is also going to try and get himself a couple of stacks on last rights. For a moment I was thinking, is he gonna go maybe? Yeah, nah, he's gonna go last let's. So in the middle, another taunt play potentially. Ultralisk. Oh, Benny. Benny, the ult of Chromie is hitting him hard, and that is the end of Varian. Varian goes down. Benny eliminated. More time at the bottom of the map also for Bloodpool now. Trying to go for Harzops here too. Nano still rotating between the lanes as well. He has 15 stacks now. Oh, and that connect! Ooh, that impale from Imperius. The end of Stukov. No chance for him. If anything, Falstad can be happy that he was able to get out there. But that's momentum now. We're nearly talking about a level lead at this point. And of course, they are using it to get further ahead. And maybe not quite take that fort out, but it is very low. So, yep, some great moves being made by the dudes already in this game. Very, very nice. Siege Giants are taken. There's level 10. And with level 10, we're getting instantly the keg. Hogga is going for the shockwave. Chromie, we saw the temporal loop already in action a bit earlier, as she made sure that Varian could not get away from that wall and then die 2 towers on the damage from the rest of the team. So, yep, nicely done there as well. 1 seed so far, the only thing that we've seen on the map, and that was taken by the Exodia stack. We're now rotating aggressively towards Gavlo. Can he get the keg out? Yep. And not enough to kill him. They're trying to gank heroes now, and this was a close call, but he was able to keg. So the lurking arm combo did not succeed this time, and this was a heavy commitment of time and resources. So the bot lane is exposed as a result, and the first thing that happens is that the blue team says, well, thank you very much. If you are busy trying to get some ganks going at the top against Chen, then we are just going to use the freedom at the bottom of the map and take down your fort. So that's the first outer structure that has now been destroyed. The seed has also not been picked up yet. And Hogga is still pushing. In this case against Falstad, so he's still a man on a mission. And they are now trying to get the seed here, but there will be a few interrupts at least, and also kill attempts by the red team. Li Ming with a really nice combo against Rhaegar, still had the heal out, so that didn't do too much. Oh, Chromie! Chromie's immediately getting some nice damage in on Dino and forces him back. So yeah, there's 2 mages on the map now. It's not only one. Li Ming might have had the first shot, but there's another mage that is currently fighting for the crown and for the top damage. And at this point at least, Chromie is trailing a little bit, but not for long if she continues to play the way that we saw there. 16,000 damage for Li Ming. Chromie is sitting on 13,000, so also not too bad. We haven't seen that many big fights yet, but well, it is certainly getting there. Seed on each side, and the dudes, they feel pretty comfortable here, I feel. So now the timeout also for Chromie, and maybe another chance here in the middle to get a kill. Taunt, and this time, no way. No way. Malthael wasn't there, and Gavlo escapes, is able to get out, gets the Ancestral, and just kicked out again. Damn. That should have been a kill. That looked like a kill, it smelled like a kill, and somehow he was still able to get away. But, wow. Bit unexpected, honestly. I thought once that he got caught and got taunted that there's no way for Chen to survive. But, well, he did. So good on Gavlo. Only 1 kill so far in the game for the Exodia stack. It's really a bit of an issue there for them. Now, the next seed. This one. Are they going to grab this one? Yeah, they are. Banana H gets it. Not even a lot of resistance. So Banana H is able to get them the seed. That's the second one. They're taking the lead on the objective. And yeah, Falstad. I mean, at least Falstad has now a chance to take down some of the hit points of the topside fort, and maybe even the entire thing. Trying to jump in on him. Chen still needs to be careful. Last Rites is still a threat. Barry is now moving into a really good position also for a lurking arm. But here comes the temporal loop. Benny has the shield. Falstad gets kicked and killed by Chen. They weren't able... Oh, now the delivery. Maybe they're getting Li Ming too. Li Ming instantly dead. Instantly dead. Benny with the attack. Bloodpool goes down, but so does Varian. Bam, they are trading kills here. 3-for-1 trade, and the seed is spawning in 25, so they're getting a great position for this one too. Ah, that is some real trouble now for the Exodia stack. This is a game without any bounties. Everybody is just playing a straight up style here. and the dudes are dominant at this point. More than a level ahead, 7 kills to 2, so 5 kills ahead in total, and they're looking great doing it. That fight at the top with Chen eliminating Hazorbs, and then the rest of the battle just unfolding with even more pressure against specifically the melees at the front, and they were able to kill another 2. So now the interrupts are coming, but Banana Age, yes, Stukov gets interrupted, Banana Age channels the 3rd seed. This is Garden Terrors, they get the first objective, and this is more forts that will fall here. So, yep, trouble brewing for the Exodia stack. They are having some actual trouble as Falstad falls, and if more heroes die, then forts alone might not be enough. They might get more. Here comes the quick kill attempt against Stukov. He's down. Stukov destroyed, and this is just... is rough. Maybe again, they're losing way too much here. The topside fort is going to get destroyed. They have 2 heroes that are now missing. One of them the healer. So that's already a big deal. The fort in the middle gone. Everybody is present, so they can push straight up for the keep. And bad news for the team in red. Damage output right now. I mean, 16 talents are now kicking in, for example. This is another setback for the Exodia stack. The keep is lost. They essentially lost 2 forts on the keep now with this push. And of course, all map control. 23,000 damage from Chromie. Yes, Liming might have the bigger numbers here, but they're just not capable of getting the kills. At least in this environment. Shout out, I mean, again, shout out to the dudes. I said it at the beginning of the series that they've improved continuously through the qualifiers and stepped it up time and time again. And now they are looking just, I don't want to say unbeatable, but they're looking so consistent here. There's another stun setup. They just catch Varian, and this is all falling apart for the Exodia stack. Varian just tips out a little bit, is for 1 second out of position, in reach, and they instantly get a kill, and they propel it forward, take the keep down. That's the second keep that has just now fallen. And right now, the Exodia stack is just deciding whether they want to type GG with caps or not. That's basically it. They're hoping for 16. The reason why they're moving to the side lanes is they're trying to get the next talent. But now their core is getting attacked. There's catapults down here. We have siege giants. Varian is gone. Here comes the Keg as they're trying for Malthael. Yeah, they are not able to get additional kills, but they're getting the core down to 87%. There's a few core points already lost. Varian makes it back, but with even more damage from afar. The core is now at 70%, lost 30. At least a bit of counter pressure at the top. This fort is most likely going to fall. 16 versus 16 talents that power the Exodia stack to try and force fights and, of course, hope that they can somehow win them and then turn the tides of the game. But they have only 1 seed. That's another problem. They only have 1 seed too. So the dudes, they're making all the right plays. They're 2 levels away from getting level 20 and getting Storm talents here. So it's going to be one of the next steps that they are looking for here. Get those Storm talents, see what you then can do with those. Another seed is the first one for them. Seems like the red team is just trying now to attack through the top. Force some fights, threaten the keep and say like, hey guys, if you don't come here, we are going to threaten your keep. They want to force fights, they have to. I mean, there's nothing else to do for them. That could be a kill, and it just barely isn't. Gavlo survives through the last rites here. He's able to make it. Gust is used. There's a temporal loop. Bloodcool is a bit isolated. Tries for a shockwave and gets interrupted on it as well by Stukov. But now Malthael gets caught and killed. Nano is alive thanks to the Ancestral from Rhaegar. And they're losing the rest of them too. So that's now another 3 gone. This is essentially a 5-man wipe that we're seeing. Falstad currently defending the core that is already getting attacked. But it's an utter disaster. I mean, this was perfectly played here by the dudes. Such a fantastic match from them. Beautiful control, well-coordinated team fights, a well-deserved victory. They're half a level away from 20. 14 kills to 2. And that's it. That's a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 series now for the dudes as they lock in the W on Garden of Terror. Another win for the blue team. GG and well played. Fourth map and first match point. We got Tomb of the Spider Queen. 30 heroes are now out of the game, have been played before, cannot be played again. Starting to limit that pool a bit. And for the Exodia stack, the air is getting a bit thin up here. They have to win 2 in a row now if they want to move on to the winners final. Sorry, to the grand final. We are in the winners final. But the loser is not out of the tournament yet. There's a losers bracket here. This is a double elimination system. So if the Exodia stack should lose this series, they still have another chance to make it into the grand final. But at least for now, things are looking good for the dudes. They were just victorious on the final map in pretty convincing fashion too. So very nice effort by them. Now with the 2-1 lead as we're heading into Tomb, question is also, will they adjust the draft? Maybe go themselves for some kind of bounty? Are they willing to gamble to risk something here? Or are they just saying, this is the Exodia stack we're going up against. These guys have tons of tournament experience. If we give them a chance to come back into this best of 5, then we might not make it into the grand final right away. And there is prize money on the line. So you really need to think about if it's worth it for you, and in most cases I would argue it's probably not. So Sergeant Hammer gets banned, also a ban on Mephisto, which leaves a couple of really interesting heroes still up though. But yeah, after the last game backfired a little bit with that triple frontline play that we had with Chen, Hogger and also Imperius. I'd love to see what the blue team specifically now has up their sleeves. Junkrat as a first pick. He's the one where I was a bit surprised that he didn't get banned out here. Great hero for the map. Good interrupt. Again, any kind of turn-in with gems. And it was, of course, the Exodia sec that went for first pick, first ban. They lost on the last map, so the losing team can always decide whether they want to have map choice or first pick, first ban. Leoric still up in game number 4, and we get a Nubarak, so the front line has already been decided for them. Dive combo potential with the Nubarak here. Keep in mind there was also a hero that was banned out, I believe, last game. And Leo is always nice because now you have the wave clear already for that bot lane fight that he will have to battle out. Now, if they don't pick frontliners now, I think there's a good chance that we see an additional ban in the 3rd position from the dudes on the front line. Anduin and Mei. Alright, Anduin and Mei. So we have... Mei is kind of the go-to when nothing else is left. These days, I feel. We're getting a decent amount of Mei. We're getting a lot more Mei than I personally expected for a long time. I think in the tournament, this must be Mei number 5 or so that we've now seen. A couple of qualifiers have featured her too. Ban out the side lane. I think there's a good shot they do. No, they missed the ban. This is the 2nd time, no, isn't it? 2nd time today. I think it was the Exodia stack that missed one earlier, and now they have missed one too. So, yep. That happened a lot at the beginning of Heroes, but I haven't seen that in ages, and now we've seen it twice in one day. It's kind of bananas. Depending on how they run it, they can still announce it in chat if the teams follow that. Usually there's a bit of a gentleman's agreement if that's going on. But yeah, Gul'dan gets banned. So some of the mages are now being eliminated. That would allow you to also control the AoE a bit more. So yeah, the next one here. But, well, with that... Still begs the question, what are we going to get as damage? We have Leo and we have Nubarak. I'm happy with both of them for the blue team, but we still need somebody to follow up on the Nubarak with stun in an ideal world. And then, of course, you want to have also damage behind this. There's still plenty of mages around. Oh! Ana and Nazeebo. Bananas Ana. So Ana didn't get banned, which means that Ana was still available. Normally a lot of the teams will ban Ana against Banana because they know that the Bananas Ana is pretty bananas, and we've seen in the past that if you don't ban Ana against Banana, that he can just absolutely murder you. But nobody banned Ana, so Banana picked Ana. And now we have Cho'Gall on the other side. Okay, team. Yep, we're gonna get spicy. We're gonna get real spicy here. Nazeebo and Ana, and then we got Cho'Gall. Final pick for Ultralisk. What is he now gonna choose? Greymane is up, I believe, so they could go for Greymane. I'm pretty sure that Greymane is still available. Don't think he was taken. If they want to have a bullet against Shogal, they can do it. If they want to play a different style, they also have that opportunity, and they go for Zagara. Zagara with 16, also fairly dangerous. So we are in for a spicy one on map number 4. I didn't expect that. Tomb of the Spider Queen. We're heading into it. Match point number 1 between the Exodia stack and the dudes. So, this is going to be a wild one. This is not the draft that I expect, I can tell you that much. We are in our first match point of this series here in the winner bracket final. On the left, it is Gavlo on Anubarak, Nano on Nezebo. We have Ultralisk on Zagara. Banana is playing Ana, and Bloodcool is playing Leoric. Now, the interesting part about the Cho'Gall pick for the red team is that they have already completed their Cho'Gall bounty. This isn't even a bounty anymore for them. They're not getting anything out of this. They really think this is the play for us to win against Leo and against Zagara now. So we have Hazops on Gal, Yasu on Anduin, Dino is playing Junkrat, Copenhagen on Cho, and Bad Benny is playing Mei. Now, Toad build for Nezebo, that can be insanely powerful. I don't know why in some circles Toad build has a bad reputation. It's really silly to me, because Toad build, if your goal is to take structures down, for example, it is absolute crazy, especially after you complete your Violent Infection. You can just raise forts, keeps, cores down with ease. And if you want to push, then this is a fairly decent build. So you don't always have to go Spider. This is a very decent alternative, depending on the playstyle and what your team is aiming for. Now, as we're talking about it, let's not forget that we have 2 heroes that can be very strong against Cho'Gall. You have the Drain of Leoric against him. And then, in addition, we of course are also talking about Zagara, who later on, after she gets her level 16 talent, can really start threatening him with that single target. But look how quickly they're already going for structures here. So somebody has to deal with Cho'Gall, of course, because he's going to try and do the same thing. And it seems that at least for now, they're going to try and do that with Nano. It's a bit of an assist. Oh, nice! Banana! That's exactly why he is so bananas on Ana. Did you see that? Insta sleep that hit. But they're trying for some body block. They're missing the stun. But Cho'Gall gets still pressured. Still a couple of really nice moves as he is retreating behind the gate. But they did some work in the middle and essentially took a tower and also the gate itself down. So as the game continues, that amount of wave clear and structural damage could be big. Ana though can't get caught like this. With her, positioning is basically everything. You gotta get those positions locked in perfectly, especially against somebody like Cho'Gall, because if he is ever getting close to her, she will suffer and likely fall. So this should be a very aggressive game from both teams. I think we're gonna see a lot of attempts to go onto structures and really drive the momentum hard. Zagara now with Envenomed Spines here. We get also Big Voodoo for Nezebo. Yeah, and still with Junkrat going down at the bottom of the map. So the counter kill after Ana was the first one to fall, so she was first blood. But Junkrat gets destroyed. Nobody has turned in a single gem yet, by the way. We have 22 against 25, so still fairly even. Not too much lost here. But Zagara against Mei at the bottom of the map, there's just absolutely nothing for Benny to do. He needs assistance, and he needs it quickly. If that doesn't come, then they're going to lose structures, and they might even lose Mei. So, Bloodcool needs to be a bit careful. Benny! And, yep, that's the end of Leo. So, Leoric goes down. The gems are at least recovered. But that was also flirting with death a bit, if we're honest. They knew that there were several heroes missing on the map and they didn't have vision on them. So, yeah, Bloodcool was a bit of a weird one. Him staying led to him eventually falling, but both of the teams are just so aggressive when it comes to trying to do damage to the walls now, to those towers, and prepping for the first Grab Beaver wave. It's kind of fun. I like it. Also, Nano is on 63 baseline stacks now. Just saying. He's really doing a great job on stacking. If he continues at pace, he will easily be able to get the requirements for his level 20 for the Violent Infection. And as I mentioned before, if you're going for a Toad build, you can absolutely murder structures once that you have that. Also, in addition, level 10 abilities are gonna get fairly interesting here. I don't think they want to get Nidus. I also think they have completed that bounty. So you essentially, if they go for more, you have more and also Cocoon that get double value against Cho'Gall. Always assuming, of course, that you connect, in the case of more, the ability properly. But they can really start to section big parts of the team off with ease. And, yeah, take advantage of that. Now, we have camps taken at the bottom of the map. Cho'Gall is there. Siege Giants are now moving through. So they have Siege Giants and they have Zagara, which means that if they get onto that fort, that thing is just doomed and doesn't stand a chance. Like, none whatsoever. Cho'Gall is already sitting in the middle and is now rotating back down. It gets immediately intercepted by Leo. And if Leo can only slow him down a little bit, that's already worth it, as you can see here. Siege Giants, the Hydra, and the minions are on the fort. That's a lot of damage done very, very easily. Yes, they lose Leoric again, but the gems are all being recovered, and Blood Crew is going to respawn on point, and that was definitely worth the extra damage onto the fort. So the playstyle that we're currently getting from the blue team might result in them dying a little bit more often, at least on the side of Leo, but it's still doing fairly alright. They are getting structures eliminated on the other team. They are able to stack Nazebo, which is huge for the late game. And they have also shut down, at least up to now, every single attempt by their opponents to get a turn in. Not a single gem has been turned in yet by the Exodia stack. And again, this is match point. What we're looking at right now is match point in the series. So now 32 about to potentially be delivered here. Cho'Gall has to fight for it though. But Anubarak is also trapped, or was for a second. The body blocks there. Then again, Leo is moving back out. Anubarak! But he gets away, and Zagara with some extra damage against Cho'Gall, who now has to be careful again as he's hoping to turn in, but they're not capable of pulling that off. Instead, it's the blue team that gets the first Web Weavers. Sleep Dart is in again. Both teams looking at level 9 any moment now. So getting closer to that too. And I'm a bit worried, honestly, for the Exodia stack. I like the choice of Cho'Gall. I think it's cool, it's funny. They have no bounty on it anymore. They completed it already previously. But now both teams with level 10 are going to clash here very heavily. It is more. It is also on the side of Anna, the Eye of Horus now. And we have the Ravenous Spirit. But yeah, Sleep Dart galore. And the Ring of Zombies for just a second. Gets the zombie wall out, but the bottom fort is definitely going to fall. The top one is going to take enormous amounts of damage. And here in the middle where the real fight is now starting up, Cho'Gall gets mauled. Benny is a bit in the corner here, so they can still get some Cho'Gall damage in very easily. And this is all happening without Zagara even being a big threat to him yet. Leo falls at the bottom of the map. Surprisingly enough, Junker was actually able to defend the bottom fort. I'm a bit shocked that this one has not been destroyed. So when it comes to value, the blue team has not gotten nearly as much as I thought they would. At the top, they are getting one fort at least now, so that's good. But I expected them to take more of the structures now. Then again, in the middle, they have nearly destroyed the fort here too, and Zagara supposedly has another shot at the bottom of the map. Also, upheaval now taken by Gal. And 126 stacks already for Nazebo. Yeah, Nano is just doing an amazing job on this. Late game is going to be so difficult for the red team. They want momentum now. They would love to stop the momentum here. With Cho'Gall is kind of interesting because normally you are really a hero that wants to get into the late game. But now a lot of the heroes that he goes up against will just excel in playing against him or controlling the map in the later stages. And with 44 gems, they definitely want to keep him alive, I can tell you that much. Light Bomb is already out. Leo's moving back away. Mei is still up at the top. Here comes Cocoon against Junkrat this time. Nano is on the way. Ravenous Spirit. And the Ice Wall shuts it down just before Dino falls. Good move. That could have been the end of Junkrat, but it's definitely going to be the end of the bottom fort. So that means that they have now destroyed 2 of the forts. The one in the middle is still standing. Zagara is now moving back out. She has 19,000 damage. Junkrat has 25k. Oh, this is quite the game. And more gems are being delivered now by the blue team, as they're hoping to also destroy the fort in the middle. So yeah, Benny, 28 gems. Needs to be careful too. Benny, okay, gets his ice block out, but still overdoing it slightly with the aggression there. Now they have more kills. That's the good news for them. They got more kills. They have more experience, despite the lead in structures. But Zagara is now going for the next camp, and I am just terrified of the moment when Nano hits the late game. Because he's at 146 stacks already. Let's go in Toads on 7, of course. And imagine Leo, how much damage he can do against Cho'Gall later. Zagara is another one. Here comes the Molten Block for Cho'Gall. Again, the Cocoon against Junkrat. Also hoping for another turn in. Ice Wall. Yeah, and they go for Banana H. Nice move with the upheaval. Fantastic kill. That was great. That was an important one too. This is the chance to get the turn in. Taking the healer out, taking Ana out. Double more here up at the top. Anduin with a save, and Dino jumps out with Junkrat because Zagara was already there, hoping to get the kill. Ready for some extra damage. Nano wants to interrupt again. Can definitely do that for a bit longer, but buying enough time for Ana? Well, she has Eye of Horus, so they could use that too. And the mid lane is still getting attacked. Zagara from long range, more banelings, and there's the Eye of Horus. Yep. Yeah, here comes the pew pew pew. And that immediately forces Cho'Gall back. Yeah, it's tough. They have only 4 bodies on the map. Usually you can play around the opponent a bit and maybe send another hero towards the turning point at the top, but that's not really an option here. And also, since they only have 4 heroes or 4 bodies, it also means at the same time that you're just getting more of your gems on individual heroes, and that is a big problem here. So Cho'Gall is holding 50 gems at this point, and that's a ton. That's a lot. If he dies, this would shut their chances down of getting back into the game for sure. It's a single fort that they're still holding, and even this is most likely going to fall. I don't see that surviving that much longer. Not with the poke that we're getting from Nano on Nazeebo, and then occasionally Zagara when she stops by in mid lane. And talking about Nazeebo, 170 stacks but level 14, 11 minutes in, and he's at 170 stacks already. So the 20 here is a given. Ice Wall gets dodged. Yeah, there's the drain on Cho'Gall. And we now have 25,000 damage nearly for Leoric as a result. Him draining Cho'Gall with that massive hit point pool is helping him a lot to boost his damage numbers. Gall is at 35,000, easily the top damage dealer in the game. Junkrat at 30,000 is second place now. But they're losing more and more ground. They might be ahead in experience, but what does that help them when they're losing so much? And by the way, just looking at XP, look at the minion experience. This is where a big gap comes from. Minion and hero experience is really where the red team excels. But when we're talking about passive experience, that gap is going to be widening as the game continues, and it is a big problem. So, all the way at the top, still a bit of pew 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 happening. Cho'Gall is now showing on lane once again. But all of the forts are gone. That makes fights for the objective also more difficult, and this results in the blue team getting themselves a second turn-in. Now, level 16 talents will soon be available for the red team, so I think the defense will be a bit easier. But it still doesn't change the fact that we now have 2 turn-ins in a row for the blue team, and the red team hasn't gotten a whole lot yet. They still hold a massive amount of gems with Cho'Gall, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I mean, 16 on the board now, and they're getting their own level 16 in seconds. So as long as Anubarak doesn't die, they're going to be fine here. But Leo is going a bit deep, maybe a little bit too deep. Honorable Sudoku by him. He thought that was a great idea after he hit the Entomb, and well, wasn't quite. But also, he's going to be back soon again. Can of course still go for the next pick drain, and will rejoin that fight. Some of the walls are already falling. They're trying to go for Cho'Gall again. Yeah, now we have, first of all, debilitation, which I usually hate with a passion, but in this context it makes a bit more sense. Against Cho'Gall in particular here. So this is actually big. But they have the Corrosive Saliva, and that is huge. Yeah, Corrosive Saliva for Zagara is absolutely massive. They got Crushing Hope as well. So the drain build for Leoric, that was Cho'Gall on the map. That was quite clear. So Cho'Gall is now having even more trouble with survivability, and that is already a problem for him, considering that they weren't able to even turn in. You just look at the amount of gems that they're holding. They're sitting at 147. 147 gems is what we're talking about now. That is essentially 3 turn-ins. If they get those, amazing. 6 heroes have now died. More gems lost for the blue team. But, well, can they turn in? If Cho'Gath dies and loses those gems, that's a massive blow. Maybe somebody else can turn in. Again, they have so many gems, they should be able to pull it off at some point. There's the drain, and once more, it is Yasuo that saves the day. Yeah, we're playing around the cooldowns there a bit, but that Entomb was a bit too optimistic. So, not quite. Got close there for a moment, but yeah, not quite able to pull that off. So, in the meantime, 210 stacks for Nazeebo. 210, and level 20's card coming up next. Nazeebo is a tough cookie here, but he also gets caught. Stun, ice block, the stun. He's still gonna die, isn't he? Ana! He's alive! He's still alive! Cho'Gath has to fall back. More doesn't do enough here, but wow. So, right now, Nazeebo is sitting at 124,000 siege damage. Gal with 51,000. Upheaval gets Cho'Gath, gets Nano, and now he's dead. Now he's dead. Yes, Nazeebo finally dies. It took ages for them to kill him, but he is finally gone. Nazeebo is gone, 5 versus 4, and so the chance to maybe get a turn in. I mean, they need it. They need something. It's 40 seconds until Nazeebo is back. Now they're going for Leoric again. He's gone full Leorki already a couple of times. There's another chance to take block cooldown. Not happening though, but Dino can now deliver. Dino can deliver here. Anubarak dives in too late. Finally a set of web weavers. Gavlo is on the move, dodges pretty much all of the CC, and is able to get away. But boy, here comes the comeback attempt. Here comes the attempt at a comeback. Now they're trying. Now they're making their moves. This could be the one where they're slowly getting back. But look where those web weavers spawn. Oh, it hurts the soul. They have to travel the entire map. Thank God that they have 6 legs. Yeah, those legs would be pretty tired if there was anything else going on. But yeah, they got enough of them. They can alternate a little bit between them. Nazeebo is back. Can now start defending here. And the Toads, they do work. So, yeah. Let's see how many forts are actually going to fall. That one at the top isn't. I can guarantee you that much. Nazeebo the monster. Nazeebo is just a monster. At the bottom of the map, it's a bit more likely. The rest of the red team is pushing in the middle, so the Exodia stack is trying to get this. The ice balls from Benny, there have been a couple of really nice ones, but the last few haven't really caught anything. Now level 20 is available and gives us the Twilight Frenzy. So once again, the death timer reduction and upheaval, not good enough, but oh, Cocoon. Nice reaction. Great reaction from Gablo. They get Cocoon, there's the Riptire, Cho'Gath. I still try for that fort, but May goes down to Nazeebo. No, the damage over time was too much, and now the chase is on. And Tomb is ready and forces Anduin to use the trade again. Nazeebo has by now 233 stacks, and here comes another stun combo. Light bomb again. Boy, and the quest is completed. It's time for Nazeebo to shine. Nazeebo has now 36,000 damage. Keep that in mind. Check his numbers out. 140,000 siege, 36,000 hero damage. Now, there's another turn in potentially. Anubara gets caught, uses rewind, and jumps back out. As up at the top, they're going for the boss real quickly, but the red web weavers are going to be descending again. So it's going to be boss defense against web weaver defense is what we're getting next. But, yep, now it's time for Nazeebo. So again, keep his numbers in mind because they are going to explode. They're even pushing for the top. They're not even trying to defend us, it seems. They're just saying, we have a boss 18 minutes in, level 20. Nano has 240 stacks now. Look how quickly that web weaver disappears. That web weaver is there a second, and the next one it just disappears. So now the attack for the top side keep, and I told you, Toad damage is insane. So Toads are doing work. The level 1 quest is, by the way, now completed as well. So that's also a huge deal now. And the keep is gone. No problem whatsoever. Insta keep. Nothing to worry about. He got, in this last fight, 6,000 hero damage. Even more siege damage. Easy peasy. No problem. Nazeebo is going to be an absolute and utter monster. He has top damage on the team already. So he's already taken over the top damage number right there. Yep. Core losing a couple of hit points. Catapult's obviously still a problem. By the way, Leo has also adjusted with his level 20 choice to Cho'Gall being on the other team. So he has the Burning Despair now. So that's another one. Also increases his survivability a little bit. And when we're talking about Zagara, we're getting Pack Instincts. So yes, Cho'Gall is going to suffer. Now, of course, if they can get kills, if maybe one of these upheaval combos with Light Bomb and the Ice Wall coming through is working out, then hey, fantastic. Then the Exodia stack can still come back. I'm just saying, it just got a lot more difficult. But they go for Leo time and time again, and they're getting another kill here, don't they? Leo is gone. This is a bit of a theme. Yorick just keeps dying. But as he's draining, he's also the one that comes back the fastest, so that helps a bit. Gives him vision, and that's another... No, it's an interrupt. Nice. Higher Foros used by Ana. Banana H. Position gets sieved out. Ice Wall, and he dodges it, and even the Riptire doesn't do anything here. So yes, Riptire is now out. Ice Wall got dodged as well. Banana definitely knows how to position himself and then how to react to his opponent's response. But here come the stuns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn! The rewind! Gavlo nearly solo killing Dainu, but more Web Weavers once again. There is a big push at the top with Catapults. We're 20 minutes in. These Catapults, they hurt. Blood Cool? He's gonna die again, isn't he? Yeah, of course. No. Yeah, he's dead again. I mean, he's overdoing it a bit with the scouting. He is essentially just an observer ward at this point. 6 deaths already. The entire team has 9. He's sitting on 6. Webweaver Wave at the top is not going to do anything. Catapults are going to take that out very, very quickly. This is not going to survive. At the bottom of the map, 180,000 damage now on Siege from now on. 180,000. Yep, and now the Toads get unleashed again. They need to kill Nazeeba somehow. They have to. He's at 48,000 damage. He did 12,000 damage since we saw him pick his level 20 talent. 12,000 already. He is surpassing everybody else with ease. Now they go for Cho'Gall, and he's dead. He has the death timer reduction, so that's big. Anduin, with the light bomb, might actually survive a bit longer. They use Benny too to help him out here. Dainu with 47 gems is able to escape. Was in vision for a moment. But now they're likely... Are they defending here? They're going for their own turn in. Actually a bit surprised that they don't defend the fort. They definitely could have. But we now have 276 stacks for Nazeebo. Late game Nazeebo is a monster. Absolutely is. We are in the winner bracket final. If the dudes win this one, they move on to the grand final, and the Exodia stack would have to fight their way through the losers bracket. We're not there yet, but the red team has to win 2 in a row, and they need to start with Tomb of the Spider Queen. Here come the Web Weavers for the blue team. The chance to take more keeps down. Structurally, the teams are actually pretty even. There's only a single keep that is currently separating them. Only one. Yeah, there it is. Anduin needs to pull. Might not have the cooldown here from the way he plays. Zagara though, upheaval. Zagara in trouble, uses them all, and there's the pull as Cho'Gall gets saved. Ice Wall is trapping Ultralisk over here, but he turns it onto Cho'Gall. Zagara might die, but also Cho'Gall in trouble, and Nazeebo with a big damage, but not enough to get the kill. So Ultralisk gets a couple of hits now too. 57,000 damage for Nazeebo. Bottom keep is about to fall, and the keep in the middle is also looking pretty tough. They're getting pinned down in their base. The Exodia stack on defense, struggling. 81,000 damage from Gull. Nazeebo trying to catch up as he's about to hit 60k. 9 kills to 4 still, but these Toads are wrecking everything. 216,000 siege damage now from Nazeebo, and yes, they took out the final keep. There are no structures except for the core standing anymore. Catapults at the top lane are moving in. Fight in the middle, a bit of a Hail Mary now as Cho'Gall tries to win the game. Anduin is dead. The Crybaby is gone. Molten block. Cho'Gall is about to fall. Tries to escape here. Tries to rush away. And will finally die for the second time. The lane is open. The map is open. The core is taking big damage already from the catapults alone. 68%, nearly 300 stacks for Nazebo, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is game. The dudes move on to the grand final of the Murky Cup, and the Exodia stack drops down into the losers bracket. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.